It seems like ChatGPT is everywhere right now. This is the new large language model from OpenAI that can produce human-sounding text in response to conversational questions and prompts. The results are in some cases shocking, with the tool being used to write everything from essays to short stories to job applications. Whole industries are quaking in their boots as copywriters, lawyers, journalists, editors, and even programmers question their future. I asked ChatGPT to write me a poem about a caterpillar and a mouse that both love gaming. I thought that would be sufficiently random and therefore a bit of a challenge, and this is what it came up with. A caterpillar and a mouse both love gaming in their house. They play for hours on end, chasing quests, foes and friends. The mouse clicks with nimble paws, while the caterpillar moves with slow crawls. Yet together they make a great team. With strategy and skill, they reign supreme. Their screens aglow with vivid light as they game well into the night. For these two unlikely friends, gaming is where their bond never ends. I mean, come on, that's pretty incredible. The danger is more real for copywriters that research basic information and churn out content for search optimization. In other words, my old job. This type of content is easily replaceable. Less replaceable is content that requires human thought and creativity. I asked ChatGPT to write a video script in the style of the Bioneer. It was a good attempt, but it also lacked any of the unique and original ideas I would have brought to the table myself. Of course it did. All ChatGPT can do is churn out new combinations of words already available online, albeit terabytes worth of data. It can't identify novel connections or give hot takes. It doesn't have opinions, and it signed off the video by saying, "Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video." I say, "Thanks for watching, and bye for now." It's an attempt at mimicking my humanity, but it's just slightly off, slightly uncanny. So there's never been a better time to be a digital polymath. That's how we survive and thrive in this new AI era. Meanwhile, ChatGPT becomes an incredible force multiplier, a tool that can level the playing field even further so that individuals can create incredible things in no time. For a more in-depth explanation of the huge potential offered by these new AIs, check out the link to my recent blog post in the description down below. Or check out the animation playing on the screen right now. I asked ChatGPT to write me C# code for Unity. Yes, it can program too, that would make a sphere as a prefab and then spawn countless more while making them clamour towards a central mass in an organic and erratic manner. It kinda hit it out the park. To be clear, this is something I could have done myself, but which would have taken me hours of effort for a 2-minute clip. And it's also built a version of Conway's Gain of Life for me, a fully playable version of Breakout, and the audio visualizer I've been using in this video. Okay, so being the Bioneer, obviously I wanted to see how this thing could do for training. I know a lot of people are already using ChatGPT to write themselves training programs, but how good quality are they? To start with though, we're going to look at a functional training routine. How does ChatGPT handle writing a training program? Does it understand functional training concepts? I'm going to review the program and we'll see just how good it is at doing this. Now, a lot of this is about getting the prompt right in the first place, so we need to ask it the right questions. But first, I'd like to talk about another way that you can improve yourself using a digital tool, and that's using today's sponsor, Babbel. So Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world that makes it extremely easy to learn through short, bite-sized lessons that emulate real-life conversation. I've been trying to learn Polish for a while, that being because I have Polish roots, but I also have German roots. So this is another thing I've been looking into using the Babbel app. I actually knew more German growing up because I had more German relatives. We used to visit Germany, and I learned a bit of German at school. It's been great revisiting it, just in fits and starts, using the Babbel app, and relearning some of the old expressions that I used to know. Ich möchte ein Lebkuchen. Ich habe Lebkuchen gegessen.
Sie dürfen nicht aufstehen.
Sie dürfen nicht aufstehen. For me, the great thing about Babbel is how it lets you learn in small bite-sized chunks wherever you are in an app that's convenient and in your pocket. I love that the lessons are designed by real teachers, and I love the way it's based around real-life conversation. If you want to try Babbel for yourself, then use the link in the description down below or scan the QR code and you'll get 60% off of your subscription. Can you please write me a functional training program? Something to be completed 3 times a week that will contribute to overall functional performance and health. This should be actually using minimal equipment and suitable for beginners to intermediate. Warm up. Start with 5 to 10 minutes of low intensity cardio such as walking or light jogging to get your heart rate up and warm up your muscles. Follow this with some dynamic stretches for the major muscle groups such as leg swings, arm circles and walking lunges. Then we've got some bodyweight squats, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, push-ups, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, dumbbell deadlifts, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, dumbbell rows, 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, and planks, 3 sets of 30 to 60 seconds. Then we're going to finish with 10 to 15 minutes of high intensity interval training or steady state cardio. But in many ways it's missing the mark. For starters, it didn't ask me anything about myself. This isn't a personalized training program at all. All it's doing is giving me a generic list of exercises I can perform. What if I can't do 10 to 12 reps of push-ups? At the same time, it really doesn't handle every aspect of human performance. I think it really missed the mark on that one. I mean, it's good that we've got a hip hinge, but there's no rotation, as I'm always talking about here. There's no single-legged movements. There's no vertical pulling. There's no vertical pushing. There's pretty much nothing really there for your shoulders. I would certainly say that that doesn't hit every aspect of performance. So yeah, not so hot on functional training at the moment, but let's see if we can refine it a little bit by giving it some cues. This doesn't really do anything for vertical
pulling or vertical pushing, nor is there any rotational challenge.
Can you please amend? I mean, most people aren't going to know to do this, so already it's kind of failed at its task. It's giving me goblet squats now, which doesn't really solve the problem, that's random. We've got the same push-ups, now we've got dumbbell Romanian deadlifts. It's made some changes. Pull-ups or inverted rows. I like the inverted rows, but really I think it should be pull-ups and inverted rows. So again, it's still, really missing the mark. But I think we're missing the mark here of what ChatGPT is really useful for, why it's exciting. Because, I could ask any coach to write me a program, I can find them online. If we ask it to do something, to source something slightly more unusual, more out there, maybe we can find something exciting from its tetrabytes of information and prompt it to be a little bit more creative with it. Because we've seen in that poem that it can be creative. So yeah, I'm going to ask it to train me like Batman. Thanks, ChatGPT. Great try. Now can you please write me a training program that would turn a normal person into Batman? A hypothetical routine to create a peak human. This can use more equipment, more out there training methods, and we can train many more times per week if necessary. Please do make it possible to accomplish, however. Thanks. Had to do this twice actually. The first time it was really fixated on those 3 days a week and it tried to cram everything into 3 days when I specifically said it didn't need to. So it was really fixated on that one prompt. The second one was a bit more interesting. Started with the strength training day. Barbell back squats, 5 sets of 5 reps. Deadlift, 5 sets of 5 reps. Power cleans, 5 sets of 3 reps. I like this, it's getting more explosive and that's going to build power. Single arm dumbbell press, 3 sets of 8 reps per arm. Single leg Romanian deadlifts, that's a very functional exercise. I have talked about it in the past in a video. Barbell ab rollouts, awesome exercise. Pull-ups, 5 sets of as many reps as possible, so to failure. And kettlebell swings, 3 sets of 20 reps. Kettlebell swings being fantastic for all-round performance. I like that they've gone at the end here as well. But then it gets cut off when it gets to the agility and mobility training, just halfway through. And that's an issue with ChatGPT that you don't hear about all that much. It can only give you a response up to a certain length before it runs out of characters, or that's what it seems like. I ran into this problem with programming a lot. I keep having to ask it to continue from a set point. So that's what I've done here. You cut off again, please continue from the agility and mobility routine. It says apologies for that. Here's the rest of the program. So the agility and mobility training includes cone drills, 3 sets of 6 drills, box jumps, 3 sets of 10 reps, ladder drills, 3 sets of 6 drills, medicine ball throws, 3 sets of 10 reps, foam rolling, 10 to 15 minutes, yoga or Pilates, 1 to 2 times per week. Then we get endurance training, running, cycling, swimming, hiking, and rowing. So the endurance training, I don't think you're specifically meant to do that in one workout, as we'll see in the mental training in a moment, but it doesn't make that super clear. Only thing I would say that is if you're going to include all this stuff, we could have put something more interested in here like rock climbing, perhaps. See, I think it's lacking once again real insight or intriguing ideas that could help take our performance beyond the average. It's still pulling from largely generic information. I guess the problem is it's looking at the average advice rather than, going into the deep cuts, the forums that are hard to find and finding training advice from there. It probably has that information in its training data, it just doesn't know that that's what I'm really looking for. Mental training. Now this I really like. It's actually incorporated mental training. So it has understood the context, it understands who Batman is and that he would need mental training for peak all-round performance, something I talk about on the channel all the time. The mental training, it gives us 10 to 15 minutes of meditation a day, 1 to 2 times per day martial arts. Interesting to put that in mental training, it is as well, but it's also, conditioning, strength training, mobility, everything else. Tactical training, 1 to 2 times per week, and there it says incorporate tactical training such as obstacle courses, tactical shooting. Batman doesn't use guns, but uses a grappling hook, we'll let him off there. Interesting they did the obstacle course, I definitely approve of that. And cognitive training, it says incorporate cognitive training such as puzzle solving or memory exercises to improve cognitive function and mental agility. I really approve of this, but it's a bit vague, so I asked it to elaborate slightly and give me examples of the kind of cognitive training. And that's where it kind of let itself down again. Gave me Sudoku, crosswords, memory games, brain training apps, jigsaw puzzles, Rubik's Cubes, cryptography, strategy games, mindfulness exercises. The cryptography, great. Brain training apps, a little bit vague, doesn't actually give me any examples. It does say you can use things such as Lumosity, Elevate and Brain HQ, and without meaning to do a full review, they're pretty basic. I was hoping for something like dual MBAC training or better yet 3D object tracking, but I did prompt it. I said, we're talking about Batman here, remember? Sudoku, really? And it says, you're right, I apologise for my oversight. If we're talking about training to become like Batman, we need to focus on cognitive exercises that would be more suitable for his level of intelligence and skills. Here are some alternative cognitive training exercises that may be more suitable. Code breaking, tactical decision making, stealth and observation training, martial arts techniques, mindfulness meditation. Some cool examples there, but again it's still quite vague, like stealth and observation training. It says, Batman relies heavily on his stealth and observation skills to gather intel and remain a detective. This exercise involves practicing stealth techniques and honing observation skills to spot details others might miss. Sounds cool, but it hasn't actually given us an exercise we can engage in, or let alone something we could practice at home on our own. But that is again where you could ask ChatGPT to expand and you could go deeper and deeper and hopefully, tease out some useful and interesting information. ChatGPT is as useful as the person using it. Could you please ask me relevant questions about my performance and then use that information to tailor this program to my current level? So the takeaway message from all this is that ChatGPT is a powerful tool that can be really useful, but we mustn't get too carried away because it's certainly not perfect. It could be a starting point for someone going very cautiously, but I really wouldn't recommend it really in terms of a functional training program. And if you want to become Batman, then it came close, it had some ideas in the right direction, but yeah, you definitely need that original knowledge, and this is what I'm talking about. It's a force multiplier. It takes your creativity and knowledge and helps you to do more with it. Helps you to see different ideas, prompts you, maybe does the research. I could ask it to pull out studies for me if I wanted to, or recommend the most important and powerful exercises. These are all things I'm going to do. It's really interesting, but it's not a complete tool. It doesn't replace a coach, doesn't replace human common sense. So what do you think, guys? Is AI poised to replace coaches? Do you approve of the programs it provided? As always, thanks a ton for watching, and see you in the next video.